की होगी जो कि फ्रंट फ्लो होगा और यहाँ से हमारा फ्रंट फ्लो होना स्टार्ट होगा जो कि ड्रेन से स्टार्ट होगा। ड्रेन पे भी हम वोल्टेज सप्लाई कर रहे हैं, गेट पे भी वोल्टेज सप्लाई कर रहे हैं। गेट पे पॉजिटिव है, ड्रेन पे भी पॉजिटिव है एज कंपेयर टू सोर्स। तो करंट जो
बरोबर एक नंबर लागत नाही. एकच लागत नाही. चालेल. चल. Lecture. Thank you. Okay, good morning, students. Yesterday we have seen drain and transfer characteristics, or we have started actually this one, and we have completed the construction of our MOSFET in the last lecture, right? So anyone, if having any doubt regarding this, you can ask me. I think I have shared the video for explanation of power MOSFET, the construction and working, right? So today we will see the transfer and drain characteristics. Already we have started yesterday the drain and transfer characteristics. Okay, so I'll repeat this topic and then we will start the next one. Okay. So this is actually a drain characteristics. Okay. So this drain characteristics is plot between current ID versus VDS when VGS remains constant. Okay. So VGS is a constant. This VGS initially, if you okay. So if VGS is equal to 0 as per the construction of power MOSFET, if VGS equal to 0, in this particular figure, if you see VGS equal to 0, then the free charge carriers which are present in a P region will not attract towards the plate, right? So that the inversion layer will not form. If inversion layer is not there, then current cannot flow through drain to source. So VGS equal to 0, the drain current ID is also equal to 0. That is shown here. Last one, that is VGST. So here the VGS equal to 0. If you see the pointer of a mouse, you can see where is the VGS equal to 0, right? So if VGS equal to 0, current ID equal to 0. If you increase the value of VGS equal to 1 volt, see the mouse, the VGS equal to plus 1 volt. Okay. If VGS equal to plus 1 volt, what happens? In this figure, if VGS equal to 1 volt, the positive charge will develop on metal plate, which will attract the electrons, free electrons, which are basically a minority charge carriers, which are present in this P region and this P region, get attracted towards the metal plate and forms a inversion layer. Inversion layer will form here and here, right? And once inversion layer form, a small amount of current start to flow through that inversion layer. Inversion layer is nothing but a bridge, right? So electrons can travel from N plus, N minus, this inversion layer, then N plus, then source terminal, and then back to the negative terminal of battery. Okay. So as you increase the voltage, if a voltage at gate to source increases, then the current ID also increases, right? So this current ID increases initially, so that region is called as a ohmic region. Then it increases slowly. That region is called as a square root law region, and then it becomes a constant. This region is called as a saturation region, right? So why this happens, we will discuss, or maybe I will show you one video so that you can understand, you can better understand how and why this happens in a MOSFET. But just remember, if VGS increases, the current ID also increases, right? So this region is called as ohmic region. This small region is called square root law region, and this region flat where the current is constant, this region is called as saturation region. So this is the drain characteristics. Then transfer characteristics, in which if this is basically plotted between ID and VGS when VDS is constant, right? So VDS is the voltage between drain and source, that is VDD battery. Once we make it constant, then just increase the value of VGS in a small step, this VGS in a small steps, and plot the current ID. If you see the VGS increases to 1 volt, 2 volt or something, right? The current is 0, ideally 0. This is called as a IDSS, right? After this, if you increase the value of VGS, your current increases linearly or exponentially, basically not a linear. It's an exponential increase in a current, right? So what happens exactly? If the VGS is less than VT, then your current through the device is equal to 0, ideally 0, practically very small current flow through the device. And then once your VGS is greater than VT, your current increases exponentially. It means that your device turns on so that the current ID increases. So this will explain with the help of one video. I'll show this video to you.
Hey friends, welcome to the YouTube channel All About Electronics. In this video, we will learn about the construction, working and the characteristic of the enhancement type of MOSFET. Now, if we talk about the construction, then in some aspects, it is similar to the depletion type of MOSFET. So if we see the construction of the N-channel enhancement type of MOSFET, then the substrate is made up of P-type material, and through the metallic contacts, the drain and the source terminals are connected to this N-type material. And similar to the depletion type of MOSFET, this oxide layer isolates the gate terminal and the P-type substrate. But here, unlike the depletion type of MOSFET, there is no channel between this drain and the source terminal. So whenever we apply the control voltage between this gate and the source terminal, then the channel is formed between this drain and the source terminal. So here in this type of MOSFET, basically the application of the control voltage enhances the number of charge carrier in this region, and due to that the channel is getting created, and that is why this type of MOSFET is known as the enhancement type of MOSFET. Alright, so now let's see the working of this N-channel enhancement type of MOSFET, and let us understand how the channel is formed whenever we apply the control voltage. So initially here if VGS is kept 0 and if the voltage is applied between this drain and the source terminal, then due to the absence of the channel there will not be any flow of current through this MOSFET. So whenever VGS is 0, then this MOSFET will remain in the off condition. Now let's see what happens when we apply the positive value of VGS. So here the substrate and the source terminals are connected together and they are connected to the ground terminal, and the positive voltage is applied between the gate and the source terminal. And for a moment let us assume that this voltage VDS is equal to 0. Now holes are the majority carriers in this p-type substrate, and whenever we apply the positive voltage at this gate terminal, then the holes which are near this oxide layer will be pushed away from this gate terminal. And at the same time the electrons which are the minority carriers in this p-type substrate will also get attracted towards this gate terminal. But at the lower voltage of VGS, these electrons will get recombined with this majority charge carriers. Now as we keep on increasing this voltage VGS, then the holes will be pushed more and more deeper into the substrate, and the electrons will be able to overcome the recombination with these holes, and they will be rushed towards the gate terminal. But due to this insulating layer, they will not be able to cross this oxide layer, and they will start accumulating near this oxide layer. So eventually the inversion layer of free electrons will get created near this oxide layer, and now this inversion layer will act as a channel between this drain and the source terminal. And now suppose if we apply the voltage between this drain and the source terminal, then the current can flow through this channel. So the value of the gate to source voltage at which this inversion layer is getting created is known as the threshold voltage. And below this threshold voltage there will not be any flow of current through this MOSFET. And whenever this VGS is greater than this threshold voltage, then the width of the channel will increase. So in this way, due to the application of the voltage VGS, the channel is formed between the drain and the source terminal. But along with this channel, there will also be a depletion layer around this channel, because if you observe, there are two PN junctions which are reversed bias. So the first PN junction is formed between this drain and the substrate, and the second PN junction is formed between this substrate and the source terminal. And if you observe, right now both the PN junctions are reversed biased. So now we will consider that this voltage VGS is already greater than the threshold voltage. And now let us see what happens when we apply the voltage VDS. So when we apply this voltage VDS, then through the channel electrons get attracted towards this positive terminal, and in this way the current will establish in this circuit, and the conventional current will flow from the drain terminal towards the source terminal. But now if you observe, the width of the channel has been reduced towards the drain side, because now due to the positive voltage at the drain terminal, this PN junction will get more reversed biased, and due to that the width of the depletion region will increase. So because of that, the effective channel width towards the drain terminal will reduce. And the same phenomena can be also explained in the another way. So once we apply the drain to source voltage, then the voltage difference between this gate and the drain terminal will reduce. So the voltage difference between these two terminals will be equal to VGS minus VDS. And as this source or the substrate terminal is grounded, so we can say that this difference will be equal to VG minus VD. So as the value of this voltage VD will increase, then the difference between these two voltage will reduce. On the other hand, this source terminal is connected to the ground terminal. So the voltage difference between the gate and the source terminal will remain as it is. So due to that, the gate terminal which is towards the drain side will be less positive than the other side, and hence this region will attract fewer electrons compared to the other side. And due to this reason, the channel width gets narrower as we go from the source terminal towards the drain terminal. And as we keep on increasing this voltage VDS, then at one particular voltage, pinch off condition will occur. So at that particular voltage, the drain current which is flowing through the circuit will get saturated. So the voltage VDS at which this pinch off condition occurs is known as the saturation voltage. And this saturation voltage can be expressed as VGS minus VT, where VT is the threshold voltage. That means the pinch off condition will occur whenever the difference between the gate and the drain terminal is just equal to the threshold voltage. Because at the threshold voltage, the channel is just getting created between the drain and the source terminal. So for the fixed value of VGS, if we further increase the value of VDS, then the difference between the gate and the drain terminal will be even lesser than this threshold voltage. And due to that, the channel will not get formed towards the drain terminal. So it appears that the current through the channel should become 0. But actually if you see, still the current will flow through this channel and this current ID will get saturated. Because the electrons which are passing through this channel can still be able to cross this depletion layer due to the electric force. So once the pinch off condition occurs, then the current ID gets saturated, and even if we increase the value of voltage VDS, then still the current through this circuit will remain almost constant. So if we see the drain curves or the ID versus VDS curves for the different values of VGS, then it will look like this. So as you can see, as the value of VGS will increase, the current ID will also increase. And this parabolic curve shows the locus of the voltage VDS where the drain current ID will get saturated. So in this graph, this region is known as either linear or the ohmic region. So in this region, the MOSFET can be operated as a voltage controlled resistor. So for the fixed value of VDS, as we change the value of voltage VGS, then the width of the channel will change, or we can say that effectively the channel resistance will change. So whenever VDS is less than VGS minus VT and VGS is greater than VT, in that case the MOSFET is operating in this linear region, and in this region it can be operated as a voltage controlled resistor. Then if we talk about the next region, then it is the cutoff region. So whenever this voltage VGS is less than VT, in that case the current through the MOSFET is 0, or we can say that the MOSFET will remain in the off condition. And then after, if we talk about this region of operation, then it is the saturation region. So whenever the MOSFET is operated on the right hand side of this locus, then we can say that it is operating in the saturation region. So mathematically we can say that whenever this voltage VDS is greater than or equal to VGS minus VT, at that time it is operating in this saturation region. So this is all about the drain characteristic and the different regions of operation of this enhancement type of MOSFET. So similarly, now let us see the transfer characteristic. So the transfer characteristic shows the relationship between the input voltage VGS and the output drain current ID. So basically it shows how the drain current ID changes as we change the value of voltage VGS. And while plotting this characteristic, the voltage VDS has been kept constant. So as you can see, up to the threshold voltage, the drain current ID is 0. And after that, as we increase the value of voltage VGS, then the drain current ID will increase. And the relationship between the current ID and the voltage VGS can be given as ID is equal to K times VGS minus VT whole square, where the K is the device constant and it depends on the physical parameters of the device. So using this expression, we can find the value of the drain current for the fixed value of VGS. Alright, so far we have discussed the N channel MOSFET. So similarly, let us briefly talk about the P channel MOSFET. So in case of the P channel enhancement type of MOSFET, the substrate is a N type, and through the metallic contacts, the drain and the source terminals are connected to this P type material. But now, in case of this P channel MOSFET, the polarity of the voltages will be reversed. So now the channel will be
Okay. Uh, so the characteristics of these two, how this particular region, one region that is not explained by the video maker, that is called square root law region. So the region between ohmic region, that is this region, ohmic region, and saturation region, if you see, there is a region where the current increases but the rate of change of current is very slow. This region is called as a square root law region. So ohmic region, square root law region, saturation region, and this one is called as a cutoff region, right? So exactly why the saturation is occur, that is explained in this previous video. If you see that, if the voltage VDS increases, voltage VDS increases, what happens? The depletion layer at the drain increases, and which will decrease the effective width of a channel, so that the current decreases. And after that, at particular value, this value is called basically a pinch off value, where the current become a constant. So that is not shown here, but it's a pinch off value. If you see the mouse cursor on your screen, so this particular region is called as a pinch off region or pinch off voltage. So pinch off voltage nothing but your VDS voltage, at which the drain current become a constant. Pinch off voltage is a voltage, or it's a VDS voltage, at which the current ID become a constant. This ID become a constant because the effective width of a channel become a zero, right? Even if you increase the value of VDS, the effective width decreases, right? And but still, as per the video you already seen, there will be a uh, high voltage VDS that will push the electrons from source to drain, so that current continuously flow, but the current is constant, and this region is called as a saturation region. Once your device gets saturates, so after that the current through that device remains constant, right? As you increase the value of VDS, the current remains constant. So this is the graph drain characteristics. Similarly, transfer currents also explained. This is for N channel. P channel, this transfer curve is exactly opposite side, right? Because that time the VGS should be minus. So for P channel, this graph is at negative side, basically, in a maybe in region second. So that is about the transfer and drain characteristics. I'll share the same video with you after this lecture, as well as the PPD till whatever we learn today, up to the today. So again, if you're having any problem, any doubts, you can directly send me a WhatsApp message, maybe on my personal number, so that we will discuss on that and we will try to clear your doubts. Okay, so next part is switching characteristics of power MOSFET. Yesterday we have started this one because maybe a less time is remaining. So this drain transfer characteristics video that is not shown yesterday. Now switching characteristics of power MOSFET. So basically power devices are used for switching purpose. So switching characteristics is the most important for any power devices, because mainly they are used as a switch. So you should know the turn on time and turn off time of a device. Now this turn on time and turn off time of these power devices will affected by the junction capacitances, right? So junction capacitance means when you connect P and N type semiconductor together, after short time, that the vicinity of a junction, there will be a no free electrons or free holes. And that region is called as basically a depletion region, right? And if you see P type and N type, both are the semiconductor, right? So that at room temperature, there acts as a conductor. So P and N types are separated with a depletion layer. So it forms a capacitance, right? So that capacitance basically, त्याला आपण capacitance म्हणतो, but it is basically a depletion region, right? So voltage required to fill that depletion region with a free charge carriers, right? That is called as the charging time of capacitance, that junction capacitance, right? Because P and N junction, when we form, there is no free electrons or free holes at the vicinity of a junction. So that empty space, you can say, is called as a depletion region. And when we connect voltage to this particular PN junction, some time is required to fill free charge carriers in this depletion region. That time is called as a charging time of that capacitance, right? So charging and discharging time of capacitance will affect the turn on and turn off time of any power devices. Yesterday we have seen this equivalent circuit for turn on process, in which two capacitances CGD, it is a capacitance between a gate and drain, right? So then second one CGS, it is a capacitance between gate and source. If you see this diagram, capacitance between drain and source, sorry, gate and source, and drain and gate, that is a capacitance. So see here, it's a gate terminal and this is your source, right? N type. So capacitance, it means here SiO2 layer is directly given, metal gate, this N plus is also metal, this is a capacitance. This SiO2 layer itself forms a capacitance because gate is a metal plate, N plus is also a conductor. So these N plus and metal plates are separated by SiO2 layer. So this forms a capacitance, right? So capacitance between gate and drain and capacitance between gate and source, that will affect the turn on time of MOSFET. What happens exactly when you apply the source gate voltage VGS? Immediately what happens, the free charge carriers start to accumulate in a vicinity of a junction between gate and source. So feel the free charge carriers, it means that this capacitor start to charge, right? Whenever this capacitor is fully charged, then the voltage will apply at the gate of MOSFET, right? Till the charging time, whatever charging time of this capacitor, that will affect the turn on time of your MOSFET. Similarly, CGD also affect the turn on time of your MOSFET, right? So turn on time will affect by these two capacitances. See, this is basically a characteristic, sorry, a switching characteristics curve. So if you see here, the first graph, this is VGG, the constant DC voltage is applied here, right? This is actually a battery. Then this is a VGS, the gate to source voltage. If you see here, as you applied VGG, the gate to source voltage, this means the capacitance CGS, that is capacitance between gate and source, start to charge. So this will shows the capacitor charging time. Between this particular time, if you see the current ID is equal to 0, current ID is 0, you just observe the cursor position, the cursor position of mouse cursor. So see here in ID last graph, so ID is 0 because the input capacitance called as a CGS is charging. Whenever the voltage across this capacitor is greater than VT, your device start to conduct, then current start to increase. So this will shows the current ID increases as your VGS is greater than VT. But till VT, if you see, the current ID is equal to 0, right? So as your voltage is greater than VT, current ID start to increase. Then whenever it is equal to VGS or maybe a max voltage, then your current becomes a constant. This is called basically a saturation. It means that your device is continuously on, right? So this device is continuously on at here at T2. At T0 to T1, if you see in the VTH or VGS graph, T0 to T1, your input capacitance charges. So this is called basically a charging time of that capacitance, during which the current ID is equal to 0, right? After that, when VGS is greater than VT, current ID start to increase, right? Whenever the current ID is max, then you can say your device is completely on. So total time T0 to T1 and T1 to T2 is a turn on time, right? If you see the last graph, that is called VDS, When device is in off state, that time the voltage across drain and source is equal to the VDD, right? Because if switch is off, then whatever voltage you are applying, the voltage across the device remains equal to the applied voltage, right? So if you see here from T0 to T1, the VDS is equal to VDD. Then from T1 to T2, still VDS equal to VDD, because the device is not completely turns on. Current start to increase, but at T2, your device is completely on. So VDS equal to VDD till at T2. Once your device turns on, the voltage across device start to decrease, and it will be a VDS, or maybe called as a on voltage, right? Voltage drop across device, that is on voltage. If you see, one more graph is shown here, that is IG, current IG. Initially, whatever voltage you are applying, that time the current IG is max. As your voltage increases, the current IG equal to 0. Somewhat time it will be negative, right? So VDS is equal to high till your device turns on. After that, the voltage across device decreases, and then it becomes equal to VDS on. That is a device on voltage. So this is the actual turn on of this particular device, so MOSFET. So this turn on time is depends upon two capacitances, this VGS and this one is a VDG, sorry, CGD, that is capacitance between drain and gate, and this capacitance between gate and source. So because of these two capacitances, the time required to turn on the device at T2, if you see at T2 your device is turns on, and then voltage across drain start to decrease. So turn on time, turn on delay time, TD on, it is the time required to charge input capacitances to the threshold voltage level. This is the time to charge the input capacitance, that is called CGS and CGD. These two capacitance required to charge up to the threshold level, that is shown here in a particular graph, this one, right? Then second one called as the rise time. This is the rise time where the current start to increase. If you observe the cursor position in your screen, so this will show the rise time. Your current start to increase from 0 to max, right? So this time is called as a rise time. So rise time definition is given here. It is the gate charging time from threshold level to full gate voltage VGSP, which is required to drive transistor into the linear region. So total T on is equal to TD on plus TR, right? Then turn off process, turn on and turn off process. This is basically the diagram for turn off process, right? But the names I given here is the same. This is basically equivalent diagram for turn off process, and these are the characteristics. Once the gate voltage at T0, if you see the first figure, first graph, that is A, at T0, your input voltage VGG is 0, right? If VGG is 0, what happens? The voltage start to drop. If you see here, the VGS start to drop from maximum VGSP to, sorry, max to VGSP, right? And then it becomes a constant, and then after it will decreases to 0. So basically, whatever the input capacitance is, that will store the energy. Again, I'll explain the same thing, that is a depletion region. If you don't understand what is a depletion region, I have shared one video in my first lecture, so that you can again see second video, right? One and two, though two videos I share. So second video, which is not included in my presentation, but I shared with you, so you can see that video, what is a depletion region and how depletion region forms, right? So depletion region means there is a no free charge carriers. Once the free charge carriers fill in a depletion region, you can say that capacitance is fully charged, right? After that, when you remove the gate voltage, the voltage at a depletion region, or you can say free charge carriers at depletion layer is still present. So it requires some time to recombine that free charge carriers and then disappear, right? So that time basically called as your turn off time. Okay, so that is shown here. If you see turn off time, it is a time required to discharge input capacitances from overdrive gate voltage to the pinch off region, right? So that is first called as a turn off delay time. So it is a time required to discharge input capacitances from overdrive gate voltage to pinch off voltage. And last, fall time. This is basically a fall time. So fall time is, it is a time required to discharge input capacitances from pinch off region to threshold level. So pinch off region, well, this is basically called as a fall time, right? And then this is a fall time from this one, pinch off region to threshold voltage. If you see the graph number 2, that is called B, right? So this voltage is called as a, or this time is called as a fall time. The fall time is from T2 to T3, right? Then from T0 to T1, that is your TD or maybe a delay, TD off, TD turn off delay time, right? So that time that is given between T0 to T1, and from T2 to T3, that is called as a fall time, which is basically pinch off voltage. So pinch off to threshold voltage, the time required, that is called basically a fall time. It is a time required to discharge input capacitances from pinch off region to the threshold level. So overall T off is equal to TD off plus TF, T fall, right? Now this is the last part called as a safe operating area. Dear student, I'll share you the videos, then PPTs of the same for your reference, future reference. After this lecture, I'll share a complete PPTs till whatever topics we have covered till today. So last one is a safe operating area. Every device that is maybe a transistor, a diode, or any device having its higher values, operating values like a voltage or current, etc. Right? So you cannot exceed that values, otherwise your device may damage. As like in a BJT, there will be a no thermal breakdown in a power MOSFET or in a MOSFET, but there will be a secondary breakdown in a power MOSFET, right? So we have to operate this device within the given limit by the manufacturer in their data sheet, right? So this IC max is a maximum current, or you can say ID. ID max is a maximum current limit where you can use your device. If you exceed the current ID, then your device may damage, right? Similarly, maximum power. So this will shows as your VDS increases, the power handling capacity decreases, right? As you increase the VDS, see secondary breakdown limits are given. Your device may break down in a secondary breakdown, and these are called as the voltage limits. So if you increase the VDS beyond these voltage limits, then your device may damage, right? So we have to operate, we have to work this device in a safe operating area. So this graph, every manufacturer gives this graph with the values, these values in their data sheets. If you download any one data sheet of a power MOSFET, you will check the value of ID max, then P max, then secondary breakdown voltage, or maybe a maximum voltage limits. Everything is given. So these values we have to consider when we are using power MOSFETs in our circuit. We should not increase the current ID beyond the limit given by the manufacturer, right? So every device, no device is work for any limit or maybe infinite current or infinite voltage, nothing. Every device has its own high voltage and current handling capacities as well as power handling capacities. So we should not exceed the current voltage beyond the value, right? So if we increase the current and voltage beyond that values, then that devices get damaged. So this is called basically a safe operating area. that is given safe operation area of the device, provide the current and voltage limits. The device must handle to avoid